my lovely hummingbirds. On today's episode, we are going to do some Pious makeup. What is Pious makeup, you ask? Well, there's this TikTok sound that I found that is absolutely beautiful. This one creator based it off this other creator song, and she was like, I could never relate to it. So this is for like the black sheep of the family. And one of the lines says, I'm not my mother's pious daughter. So we're going to do some Pious makeup for that first little transition there. So yeah, let's get started with the first one. Hello, my lovely hummingbirds. To kick off this look, we're going to add our primer to our eyelid as well as our under eye to really give it a brightening effect as we go ahead and apply everything for this look. Once that's done, we're going to go in there with the LimeCrime Prelude Chroma Palette in the shade Triumph. And for this, you're going to take a real big floofy brush and add it to the inner part of our eyelids, as well as a little bit on like the lower area of our inner corner there. And once we've gone ahead and done that and fluffed it out, we're going to go in there with the shade Eros, also with a slightly floofy brush. But we're going to do it on the outer portion of our eyelid and slowly work that in just to give it a bit of like a airbrush effect. Once you've gone ahead and applied that, we're going to go in with the shade Nymph, and that is going to go on the middle part of our eyelid because it's going to be a really pretty like blended out effect once it's all done. Once we've gone ahead and applied that, we're going to go in with the Prelude Exposed palette from LimeCrime in the shade Virgin. And we're going to apply that to our upper brow bone area. Once we've gone ahead and applied that, we're going to go back in with the Prelude Chroma. And this time we're going to take the shade Olympia and put that on the inner upper brow bone area and down towards the crease. Now, this part's super important. Take your blending brush and you are going to blend away from light into dark and then slightly from the dark into the light, not as much though, and just really fan it out. I'm going to go ahead, put on the rest of my face, but in the meantime, you can follow me on all of my handles. And there she is. She's giving cherub, she's giving frolicking through the forest, she's giving honestly ready for a fucking festival, if I'm completely honest with you. She's giving dainty, she's giving pious daughter. If this is where you're leaving me, my lovely hummingbirds, as always, les mando mucha paz, muchos besos, y les recuerdo que miren hacia la luna, sending you much peace, many kisses, and reminding you to always look up at the moon. I love you all so much. I'll catch you on the next one. But if not, please join me, my lovely hummingbirds, for today's topic of conversation, which is the pious daughter. Hello, my lovely hummingbirds, and welcome back to another episode. Oh, that sounds so ugly. and welcome back to another episode of Makeup and Motivation here on Pop Culture with your lovely host, Monroe. How's it going, everyone? As you saw, today's episode, we will be covering the pious daughter. What is the pious daughter, pious child, you ask? Well, let me tell you. This is in congruence with today's episode of Pop Culture. Monday, I got the very incredible opportunity to post up my interview with William from Sleeper Signal. They are a Nashville, Tennessee-based band, and you should definitely check them out. If you are in Nashville, go check out their show on April 14th. Amazing band, incredible guys. They have a song being released on the 15th, Raise the Black Flag. And you should go listen to an episode of Pop Culture, and link is in the description, and then come back and watch this video, or do it after, whichever. But shameless plug aside, The reason for this being titled The Pious Daughter. I had been working on this series for about a year. A year? I know, crazy, I know. But last year was one hell of a year. As you guys know, from the bits and pieces that I have shared over the course of the past year. About a year ago, there was a song making its way through TikTok, at least on my For You page, called Savage Daughter. And it was from this creator. She is an incredible singer, and the story behind it was that she is her mother's daughter. They are exactly alike. You know, real beautiful song. And I was like, wow, this is incredible. Like, I would love to do a cosplay bit for it. But it wasn't clicking. It wasn't resonating with me like I wanted it to. I was kind of really forcing it. And I was like, oh, fuck this, I'm not gonna do it. Then, I want to say like a couple weeks later, day before my birthday last year, I run across a video of a cover of that song by another creator, Piper CJ. But her cover of the song, as she stated, was essentially because she couldn't relate with the other one. And she's like, you know, this one's for the black sheep of the family. And she's like, maybe some of you can relate to it a little more. And when I tell y'all, it brought me to fucking tears. A lot more than I expected it to. And then I was like, oh my god, well, I get now why the other one didn't fit. And I was like, I'm the black sheep. Huh, interesting, I knew this, but damn. Dumb. And there's a line in the song. Well, throughout the chorus, she says, I'm not my mother's pious daughter. I am not my mother's righteous daughter. I'm not my mother's saintly daughter. And then proceeds to state then who she is, what it is she does, all that. It hit on some mommy issues I didn't know I had. And then I had to go and unpack that. But then I started looking at my sibling dynamic. And I was like, damn. I am the black sheep. That's wild. I owe my brother an apology. But don't mind me making observations as I go along. I just kind of sat there and I was like, okay, why am I thinking about sibling dynamics? In the road to self-love and the journey of life and knowledge and all that good shit, oftentimes the people that it is harder to speak with when things are very hard is the people closest to us, is my experience. And I sat there thinking about everything and I was like, shit, maybe if I were a little more open at the time, things wouldn't have been as bad as they were. While I am very in the belief that everything that did happen happened for the reasons that it did and the way it was really supposed to. Do I wish some of it didn't hurt as badly as it fucking did? Absolutely, but here we are. And I'm sitting there and I came up with this whole dynamic for siblings. And came up with there are 3 archetypes for siblings. Now, I'm not talking about like eldest, middle, and the baby. I am the baby, but that's not that's not the archetypes that I'm talking about. I am talking about pious child, peacekeeper, and the black sheep. What does this mean? Well, each one is not exclusive to the eldest, middle, and youngest. That just happens to be my family's dynamic. But typically the pious child is, and by the way, pious, let's start there, means this. And when it comes to the sibling dynamic, when it comes to the child dynamic, a pious child is essentially the righteous one. They are the one that does everything right. Everything that mom and dad say is law, they follow. And they're the ones that are held up on this pedestal of like, to the other siblings, hey, you got to do what the fuck they're doing because that's the only way you're going to succeed. And if you do anything else, you know, then insert slew of negative comments and things here. They, in my experience, from what I've seen, not just my siblings, but other sibling dynamics, they are the more level-headed ones. They are the very logical and rational ones to a fault. And while that can be very good when it comes to education and business, and they are also the ones more likely to have traditional family, like, setup kind of vibe, where it's like 2 kids, 2 dogs, a spouse, and like, you know, a car and all that good shit. They, while logical to a fault, they are also the ones that more readily wear their heart on their sleeve. And not just in the sense of, like, the peacekeeper does too, to some degree, but it's done a little differently, and we're gonna get into that in the next episode. But for the pious child, it's very apparent when something goes wrong that it hurt them. And they try to put up this front and this face and this whole like, oh my god, no, I'm totally fine, I don't give a fuck about anything, da, 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 da. And they're the ones that try to go cold and try to do this whole like thing, but they're also the first ones to like hold a grudge. With them, they are oftentimes the ones that got to see the most when it came to the parents. And they are also the ones that left home first, stayed away, so they didn't come back. And they're also the ones that were put on to like more self-induced responsibility. Why do I say self-induced? Well, while they did have to parent their siblings when they were at home, it was not something that was entirely always asked of them. It was like, hey, look after your siblings, right? But it wasn't like, if you don't, it's going to be a problem. They were, or for some of you it might have been that way, and if it was, I'm so very sorry, my lovely hummingbirds. But it was also this like self-imposed expectation of like, I need to do really fucking well because I can never let mom and dad down. And again, with the logical to a fault, oftentimes the pious child is the one that most often lets their dreams die. They are the ones that take a very logical, step-by-step, structured approach to life and are the ones that end up living life in their later years. They don't really, like, they'll still do like the typical teenage shit. Everybody's a fucking typical teenager. Everybody does like their partying every now and then and all that stuff, but they are often the ones that don't really indulge in so much because their head is always in what they have to focus on. They're considered the responsible ones, right? Or they are the responsible ones, not just considered, they are, because it is very, everything they do is very like face value to mom and dad, or dad and dad, or mom and mom. We do not discriminate on this channel. Pero for the pious child, while they are seen as the kid that can do no wrong in the eyes of mom and dad, they might not always get along with their siblings. They might not always understand the mindset, especially like if the other two in the situation, the peacemaker and the black sheep's always fucking up in their eyes. Black sheep is always like, oh my god, you're stupid. Like, why are you like this? You know, what is the plan? What is this? What is that, right? Because for the pious child, there always had to be a plan. There always had to be structure, which is not a bad thing. It is a very good thing. And it helps to live life in a very conventional sort of way. Which, ain't shit wrong with that. Ain't shit wrong with having a plan. Ain't shit wrong with having a mortgage. No, none of this. Don't come for me in the comments. I'm not criticizing the dynamics, okay? And if y'all start coming for me in these comments, I'm gonna need y'all to do some deep breathing exercises and some figuring out why the things I'm saying is triggering you. Because I am not here to trigger. I don't know who this message is for. I'm not here to trigger you. I am here to just explain to you this dynamic that I found and share it with y'all. And like, if it fits and it hurts, unpack why. That's what I'm trying to say with that. But they are often the ones that are most self-neglectful. They are the ones that get the most attention at first, but then with like the arrival of the peacemaker and the black sheep, as they start entering their own facet of life, they can often feel ignored, left alone, pushed aside by the parents if there isn't like a steady flow of communication, or if they feel unfulfilled. The pious child is the one most likely to be very nostalgic and reminiscent of younger days and younger experiences, because to some degree they grew up really fast because that's what they were told they were supposed to do. They followed everything by the letter of the law of the land, and it's not that they're particularly unhappy. I will not say that, but there is a sense of longing of like, what if? You know, what if? Don't mind me. My lips were dry. What if I did it differently? What if I went forward and tried this instead? They are the clean-cut professionals. They are the suit and tie. They are the ones that, like I said, have an 8-year plan, and there is no flow. There is no flow. Everything is very structured, and if everything doesn't go to how they very my way or the highway type of vibe, they are the ones that are also most similar to the parent dynamic. They try to emulate what they have deemed and what their parents have deemed as like what is the best way to be, and they tried to like really push that forward and have that moment of like always keeping them happy. They are the ones that will eventually, if not already, have started to have this shift of like, damn, am I happy though? If I keep them happy all the time, what's gonna happen with me? They are also the ones that will not readily say things to their parents to their faces, but will say it to like their siblings or friends or things like that. I'd be like, damn, they said this and they said that, and da da da. And then, you know, you got a little black sheep in there, and it's like, oh, really? And then Ghost Mode is like, hey, what are you doing? And they're like, no, why would you do that? And then, like, they are also the ones, even though if they don't agree with their parents, will be the ones to side with their parents against their siblings because they don't ever want to gain disapproval. And yes, they are often not people pleasers, because they are not people pleasers to the outside world. To the outside world, they are very silent but fucking deadly if you cross them. But when it comes to the parents, very much so. They are not combative in any way. Very respectful. Nothing wrong with that. I see how my hair flip came off very judgy, but I promise you it's not. When I started going off there for a little bit, and I was like, I don't know who this message is for. I love y'all. And this is the channeled portion of this video. And I feel like I started channeling then, and I was not expecting it. So we're gonna light some incense because that shit just like tweaked me. Ow. Also, for my lovely hummingbirds, the Pious Child is also, for me, or at least like what I think the colors that they emulate are, oh yes, I have a notebook with notes, it's beautiful. Pink, white, blue, yellow, and purple, but not like chartreuse. Not a chartreuse. Fucking, I don't know why that came to my mind. They are more like a pale spring kind of yellow. They are very, I'm not trying to say that y'all are vanilla. That is not the vibe that I'm going for. That's not what I mean. But very organized. Very, things have to be a certain way. Things have to flow a certain method. My incense just went out. Y'all good? Why are we blocked? I don't like that. Yes, cleanse them, heal them, protect them. So, for my pious babies out there, my pious hummingbirds, things may not always be the easiest for you. You might have been feeling some type of way when I first started going off there about, like, yes, but what's wrong with that? There is nothing wrong with you doing everything right. There is nothing wrong with showing respect to your parents. There's nothing wrong with doing any of the things that you have done. But when did it stop being for your good? When did it stop being for you? When did it stop being for your benefit? Oftentimes, the pious child always thinks about doing everything right and being perfect for everybody else. And you convince yourself that it is for you. So far to the point that if everything doesn't fit into the parameters that you have self-formed for your existence, you end up throwing yourself into this chaotic, depressive state. And my lovely hummingbirds, we cannot do that. Cannot be doing that. What I want to say to you, my lovely, lovely pious baby, it's okay to really chill out. To actually take a moment to yourself and breathe and enjoy life. It is okay to want more. than everything that you were told that it was supposed to be. It is okay to want something different. But in order to do that, I need you to first figure it out who it is that you are without the voices of your parents constantly playing over and over and over in your head. Who is it that you are? Who is it that makes you happy? What is it that makes you happy? And how can you start implementing more of that into your life every day? This is your life. And you have every right to live it. And enjoy and take a moment to just relax. But don't close your heart off because you think it's better that way. It is okay to feel. It is okay to love. And it is okay to be scared. Because fear teaches us a few things. It teaches us that what we're about to do is something very stupid, very exciting, we are in danger, or we're going the right way. It's okay to open up. It's okay to not know things. And it's okay to make mistakes. You are human. And I am so sorry if you were ever pressured into growing up so fucking fast to take care of your siblings for why. You are not obligated to be a second or third parent to them. You were a kid too. And you deserved and deserve still so much genuine love and happiness for what you perceive it to be. But you also deserve to give yourself that too. It is so easy to listen to your head all the time. But impulsivity and erratic behavior based on statistics is not going to always guarantee you success. It might material-wise, but are you actually happy about it? Does it actually fulfill your soul? I need you to really look into that. Look within and speak with yourself more and listen to your heart. Because the part that I feel that is the most blocked for you, my lovely, lovely hummingbirds, is your heart. Your heart and your sacral. A little bit in the throat area when it comes to those two things that pertain to those chakras. By the way, the heart chakra covers this, and then the sacral chakra covers this. Just so you know. Look into that. Pero allow yourself to be. Allow yourself to smile. There's nothing wrong with feeling good. And feeling good does not have to come at the expense of others, nor yourself. Yes, the world is crazy, but if you allow people in, it becomes more bearable. And you know who to and who not to let in. I love you. It's gonna be okay. Now, we are going to give y'all a tarot reading. I usually don't do this on Makeup and Motivation, but something said, bitch, do it. So, who am I to argue with the universe? For you today, my lovely Pious hummingbird, we are going to be using the traditional Rider-Waite Tarot. Yeah, This is the one we're using. We're using the OG. The OG. Interesting. I was not expecting card to already pop out, but here we are. Okay. What do my lovely, lovely Pious hummingbirds need to know? What do they need to know? So the first card that came out for y'all is the Two of Wands. Your biggest obstacle. So we're gonna do where you're at, what your obstacle is, and where you're headed. Okay, and one more. Okay, pretty, pretty, pretty. I love it so far. We are gonna take a interesting. Sorry, I have like dice on the table for a different pick card that I'm doing. But yeah, this is your reading here. Now, as I said, that was your reading. Your overall outcome is the world clarified by the Six of Wands. That is so good. It is such a good, it's an immediate yes. If you asked a question of like, am I making the right fucking choice here? Absolutely. You are. Universe says definitely fucking go for it. This is the right choice to make and you will be successful and triumphant in this choice. However, I know that you have doubts because where you find yourself now is Two of Wands with the Strength card. Essentially, this means having to make that choice, which might be very out of your comfort zone, something that you don't typically do. For example, I don't know why this popped into my head, very random, but very specific. Say you are a like high school teacher or a third grade teacher, and then all of a sudden you're like, fuck, I really want to take up tap dancing and like open up a dance studio. Way opposite, way not what has been in the plan, so to speak, for you and everything and the way that you had laid everything out. It is okay to want to do something new. While yes, this path is going to require a lot of strength and a lot of patience from you, you have everything that you need in order to accomplish your goals. Your biggest obstacle is the Fool with the Seven of Wands. How is a new beginning an obstacle? Because not everything is going to go as planned. And you are very, very territorial. You are very particular when it comes to your plans, but it's also going to cause you to defend yourself. I keep hearing like, you're a fucking fool if you go for this. You might be getting a bit of like pushback from people, especially people that like know you well and are very close to you. They're like, oh my god, I can't believe like you're fucking doing this. It's so out of the box. It's so not like you. It's so this and that. Let me tell you something. As the black sheep, people are always gonna talk. Whether you do it or don't do it, they're always gonna talk shit. So go for it. Because the outcome, as I showed you, is fucking incredible. It is an absolute yes. The universe literally has your back on it. But make sure that the pushback isn't also your self-limiting beliefs. Because you're looking at this like, I am a fool on the hill. It's okay to experience something new. It's okay to never have tried something before. It's okay to start now. You are not too old. You're not too young. you're not too inexperienced, you are not too whatever self-limiting belief you are like tossing at yourself. Stop it. Stop it right now. Because you can do it. You have what it takes to achieve incredible success. So don't let outside influence then become your own self-defensiveness against what it is that you are trying to build and create and do for yourself. With the Wheel of Fortune, everything that you are doing is in divine right timing. It is going perfectly along with the plan, but it might not be your plan, but it's definitely God's plan. I'm sorry, I don't know why. I just heard fucking DJ Khaled in my head. Nobody believed in us, God did. Sorry, I was having such a moment right there. But with Temperance, it is going to require a lot of patience. And one of the things that you might struggle with personally is patience in itself. But regardless, my lovely hummingbirds, the outcome is beautiful. It's all going to go well. And you are going to be very, very abundant and happy and prosperous after it. So go ahead. The answer to it is absolutely, definitely, yes, you are on the right path. It will not go wrong. Even if it doesn't go exactly as you have laid out from A through Z, it's going to happen for your highest good in the best way that it possibly can. For the siblings of the pious child, my lovely hummingbirds, cut them some slack. And get to know them and get to understand them. And while you might be very like, God, but this and that and whatever, just as you had your issues with your parents, so did they, in their own way. The only way to move forward together as siblings is really gain a level of understanding with each other and happiness, and then, you know, just take each other to eat some fucking food and then be like, damn, that was fucking crazy, I'm sorry. You don't... The anger and the hate is never worth it. No fight, no moment of being pissed off. While granted, yes, there are some very horrible things, and I'm not telling you to go and like forgive people that have really like you handle it as you see fit in that regard, but you don't want to wake up one day, you don't want to just blink and then stand there and realize that you can't say sorry because they're no longer physically here. Yes, it is better to ask for forgiveness and ask for permission at times, but it is better to say, hey, I'm sorry, I was wrong, or you were wrong, let's talk about it, than being like, fuck you, and then not being able to do shit about it. Not being able to take it back. Take time to acknowledge your pious sibling, and also realize that, like, even if they don't immediately open up, they love your ass. They do. They wouldn't be as tough as tits as they are if they didn't care about you. They do in their own very detached way. That is it. That is all for you today, my lovely hummingbirds. I hope you enjoyed today's episode. It is in congruence, as I said, with today's episode of Pop Culture. You should definitely go check that out because I talk about a bunch of stuff that has happened over the past week. But, oh my god, all that smoke just went into my mouth. But yeah, that's it. That's all I got for y'all. As always, les mando mucha paz, muchos besos, y les recuerdo que miren hacia la luna, sending you much peace, sending kisses and reminding you to always look up at the moon. I love y'all so much. Take care of yourselves. Drink some water. Eat some Nutella straight out of the fucking jar. Enjoy your life, my lovely, lovely hummingbirds, because as far as we know, it's the only one we have. Okay? And yeah, that's it. Okay, I love you. Bye.